Каждый вторник в 12:10 один из самых известных раввинов нашего времени, Маниса Фридман, в прямом эфире отвечает на вопросы наших слушателей. Вы услышите мнение самой мудрой книги человечества – Библии, о самых сложных проблемах, стоящих перед современным миром. Присылайте ваши вопросы заранее на наш имейл info@rosa.fm или во время передачи по СМС 347 460 08 77.
Общаться, и это совершенно потрясающе. Так что прямо сейчас говорю Hello, Rabbi Manis Fridman. Thank God it's Tuesday. Happy first Tuesday of 2026. It's amazing that we have a chance to speak with you. I know you're in Dominican Republic right now, and you on a seminar with a lot of young people who are very anxious to learn from you, but we're older, but no less anxious to learn from you as well. So, happy new calendar year. May it be a great one. And we'll start with progress. The question that I have prepared for our program today is about progress. That progress is AI. We spoke about it many times, but it's progressing very, very quickly. And AI rabbis have officially launched, and they're on the roll. It's incredible. In fact, if basically the question is it safe? Can we trust these artificial rabbis? Because they're on YouTube, they're making tons of videos, they're teaching Torah, they're sending good messages. You know what? How about I'll just show you instead of just talk about it. Here is an example of one such rabbi.
The Kabbalists teach that the morning is a time of chesed, of divine loving kindness, a time when a new flow of blessing and potential is pouring into the world. Your soul, your neshama, is like a clean, empty vessel ready to be filled with this divine potential. But when you grab your phone, you are taking that clean vessel and filling it with the spiritual sewage of the world. You are handing the first fruits of your consciousness, the most precious and potent moments of your day, over to your email inbox, to the news cycle, to the algorithm. You are abdicating your throne as a co-creator with God and volunteering to be a slave to the world's agenda. The cost of this habit is incalculable. It is the reason you feel like you are always one step behind, always putting out fires, never able to get ahead. It is the reason you lack clarity, focus, and a sense of purpose.
Here's a little example.
What's AI about that?
That's an artificially generated rabbi with a message. And
what's good about it?
I was going to ask you about it. Is this a good thing, or is it because this particular channel on YouTube launched it's called Rabbi David at Millionaire Rabbi or something like this, and this AI rabbi gives a lot of self-help advice on different topic, how to eat, how to drink, how to wake up in the morning, how to go to sleep. It references Torah, it references spiritual teachings, sacred teachings. And the question is, and it looks good, sounds good, but the question is, we are so undereducated to filter anything, including a sex of a baby. How can we filter AI? Is it something that we should be listening to? The messages are good. I listened to a couple of these podcasts. There's about 4 or 5 of them a day for the past 2 months. So they're really, really massively output there. Very strategically created. The message is all positive. It's all about health, spiritual health, physical health. So how should we treat this? Is this something that's going to bring us closer faster? Is it something that can do the opposite? Rabbi Fridman, you're the real rabbi we trust.
I don't see what the advantage is. Why doesn't the rabbi just say it himself? Why make it artificial when it can be natural?
I don't know if this Rabbi David exists. I think he's been generated. There's few images of him. It's always Rabbi David, but there's about 3-4 different looks to him, and all pretty similar, very soothing.
So who's behind it? Who invented it?
I tried to find out. I'm not such a good Sherlock Holmes just yet.
But I think a rabbi speaking naturally and real is much more effective. Even the tone, it sounds too rabbinic for my taste. That sing-song, I don't know what that is. Why can't you just talk like a human being? I don't think this is the biggest blessing that AI is going to offer. AI is going to do much more impressive things than that. Things that we couldn't do naturally. For what we can do natural, why make it artificial?
Rabbi Friedman, but aren't we kind of giving up our intellect to the artificial intellect? Because before we really had to strain to write something, to create something, and now we just have to give very clear directions, and in 3 seconds everything just pops up. We get all the answers. Is it something that is progressive or regressive?
No, I think it's great. It's like having a great writer or ghostwriter or researcher, or only faster. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as the message is real, coming from a real person. The more assistance you can get, the better. Why not? They started producing, years ago, they started producing an encyclopedia of Talmudic wisdom. There were people who were very against it. They said it's a shortcut, it's cheating, you have to memorize the entire Talmud if you want to be a scholar, and you can't have this shortcut with looking it up in the encyclopedia. Because there's a great virtue to studying, to applying your mind, right? The Rebbe was very in favor of it. He said, let the encyclopedia do the walking for you. You'll still have plenty of room to use your intelligence and delve deeply. So why not take whatever help you can get and then build on that? Same with the AI. Whatever AI can do for you is great. Beyond that, you'll add your human talent, your human virtues, So it's no different than hiring somebody who will do the research for you, who has an encyclopedic memory. That's great. Now we're going to have to really focus on the message, not the method, because we'll leave the method to the AI. So it's going to force us to go deeper, to be more human, to be more true, because AI can't do that.
Rabbi Friedman, can we use it to learn? I know I asked this question before, but it's scary how it can simplify certain messages that the Torah has, that for some reason teachers can't simplify it so much like the AI can. And the question is that good or bad?
That's great. You know, sometimes I'm teaching a class and I say something and the student repeats it back and says it better than I said it. That's great. It's like I couldn't have said it better myself, as long as it's true to the message. Look, AI is not a supercomputer. It will do much more than any computer can do. A good computer can provide all the information you want in seconds. Maybe AI will be faster. I don't know that we need to be any faster than a computer. But AI is a completely different thing. AI will do much more than give you information, because that a computer already does. So let AI do everything it can possibly do. It will not replace human beings.
But the fact that it simplifies, it seems like on one hand it's fantastic to understand things so quickly, because this is what it does. It delivers the message in a very simple way that it's very easy to comprehend. But at the same time, what is it doing to our minds? Isn't it a good thing that we have to use our minds to dig into things, to contemplate, to rationalize, and not have things delivered to us on a silver platter?
Absolutely. And there will always be room for that. No matter how much AI tells you, you can go deeper, you can go higher. Maybe not in geography, for example. Once you know geography, it's not going to change. They're not creating more real estate. Actually, they are, but so AI will do whatever it can do, and then you'll be able to launch from there to more, higher, deeper, more sensitive. There'll always be room for growth. So why start at 0? Start at 10 and grow from there. We won't run out of the pursuit of the knowledge of God.
It's just there are so many layers, and when it comes to AI, it's like a quick, thin, I wouldn't say thin, but it's quick, flat line. It's like, this is how it is. It's not, I mean, to the best of my knowledge, it just answers things very directly, without the build-up, without this flavor.
Emotional investment.
Yes. And that's, you know, the answers are there, and they're very logical and clear. And it's a little bit scary. I don't know if I'm relaying what I would like to relay clearly. I'm not an AI.
Yeah. So let's make it clearer. The unique thing about human beings that make us different from the mineral, the vegetable, and the animal is that a mineral is absolutely content being a mineral. It doesn't yearn to become a vegetable. It doesn't aspire to become a vegetable. The vegetable is perfectly content being a vegetable. It doesn't dream of becoming an animal. The animal is very comfortable being an animal. The monkey is not hoping to evolve into a human being. If it's going to happen, it'll be against the monkey's will. The human being, on the other hand, is unique in that the human being is not content to be a human being. And that's the definition of human. The definition of a human being is never content to be human. A human being content to be human is just an animal. A happy animal. Question is, what does the human hope to be that is more than human? If I'm not content being human, how will I reach contentment? But the point of it is, the nature of the human, not the religion, the nature of a human being is, I was born human. That's a gift. What am I adding? What am I bringing to the table? I got to add something to humanness because my humanness is just given. What am I accomplishing? Be a good human? Of course you're going to be a good human. An animal is a good animal, a vegetable is a good vegetable. So what is it that we're aspiring to that would make us more than human? There are many people who aspire to Olympic perfections, run faster than any human being ever ran, fly higher than any human being ever flew, swim faster than any. That doesn't make you more than human. It just reminds you how inferior you are to the animal, because the animal is still faster than you and the bird still flies better than you. What can we possibly become that is more than human? Of course, the answer to that is you can become godly. Whatever that means, that's not my point. My point is, the nature of a human being is to become something more than human. AI is going to force us to do that. Because all the human parts can be done by AI. The one thing AI can't do is reach beyond human. And that's our essence. So we're being forced to confront our truest nature, our real essence, and that is to transcend the human condition. AI will take over all the necessary technicalities of survival. But we're not meant to survive anyway. We're meant to transcend. And that AI will never challenge, will never take over. It will push us. AI can do anything a human being can do. Now you have to become something more than human. That's beautiful. We're finally going to get to the real purpose of our existence, and that is to be something more than human. So if building buildings, if calculating profits and losses, and if the AI will do all that for us, what are we going to do? The one thing that makes humans unique. We're going to pursue something more than human.
Rabbi Friedman, I'm hearing that message a lot lately from everywhere, and I think I'm not the only one. Usually it's a collective thing that happens to us. Our growth is collective usually. So the message is to get above ourselves, to get higher. How would you explain that concept? This is basically what you've been saying just now, that we need to get, this is all aiding us to get to a different level, higher than ourselves. What does that exactly mean?
At the very minimal level, become altruistic instead of selfish. Getting beyond ego is kind of getting beyond human. If I can be selfless, I've transcended the human condition. Now I've entered into the divine image with which we are created. So it's there, it exists within us. Getting there is realistic. You don't have to be a believer or spiritual. We're created in God's image. So there's a part of us that is divine. We tend to ignore it because we're busy with the technicalities of being human. Finally, AI is going to take over all those technicalities. Perfect. Now we have no distractions. Rambam puts it a little differently. Rambam says that in the times of Mashiach, there'll be no war, there'll be no competition. That's a big one. We're having a hard time imagining no war.
For sure.
Imagining no competition, that's already fantastic. Why will there be no competition? Because everything will be available in abundance. There'll be nothing to compete over or for. So if there's nothing to compete for, what are we going to do with our time? Rambam's answer is, we will all be busy pursuing the knowledge of God. Which is a very practical way of saying, grow beyond the human. Get closer to God by getting to know Him better. That can go on infinitely. And that AI cannot do.
Yeah. I think my biggest problem with AI, or maybe the way we're using it at the moment, it's not very three-dimensional. It's very predictable, and it's very flat-lined at the moment. With a lot of knowledge, of course, no one is, but the dimension, that human dimension, I don't think it's ever going to gain that dimension where there's no, humans are unpredictable. Humans are exciting.
Humans are not limited to being human.
Rabbi Friedman, since this is the beginning of the year, you have told us so many things, great things in advance that totally came to fruition. I would say about 5-6 years ago, you said, we need to admit that we don't understand anything. And I think 5-6 years later, we can definitely make that statement looking around the world and what is happening. Yeah, that we don't know or understand anything that is going on in this world. And another thing that you said was about abundance. You just repeated it again, that before the coming of Mashiach, there's going to be tremendous abundance. You said it also a long time ago. And we do see it, but unfortunately we see it selectively. The abundance is definitely in place, but only a select few have access to it, and some others are actually suffering because of the disbalance. It's not going away just yet. So this is the beginning of the new year, and you always have this wisdom going forward, seeing forward. Can you take us a little bit forward on this particular aspect? Because unfortunately, we hear a lot that this is not a great situation for a lot of people, this great disbalance that the world is experiencing economically.
We're not there yet, that's for sure. But we can see it. It's so realistic, you can almost touch it. There is so much wealth in the world, no one needs to fight over it.
It's being
Like
stolen. It's being stolen left and right. But yes.
Unnecessarily.
Yeah.
That's why crime has now become so unjustified. As if it was ever justified. Right? But people did say, you live in a poverty-stricken area, of course there's going to be crime. They did justify it. If you're underprivileged, there's going to be crime. Cheap excuse, but it was used as an excuse. Now it's like, what underprivileged? There's no need to be underprivileged. Like people who are worth $200 billion. Obviously, you're not going to use the $200 billion. You know what you can do with $200 billion? You can feed everybody in the world. So what's stopping you? So it is so close, we can taste it. Over the years, just in my lifetime, there have been so many panics. We're overpopulated. There isn't enough bread. There isn't enough water. There isn't enough air. There isn't enough real estate. One after another. None of it ever came true. It was never true. There is no shortage of anything in this world. And they were panicking when there were 7 billion people in the world, and they said there isn't enough room or air or water. Now we have 8 billion people. There's still no shortage of air, water, food, everything we need. So enough with the panics and enough with the conspiracies. We can taste. They used to have that bumper sticker, visualize world peace. We were never able to visualize it. Now we can, even though we don't have world peace. But it's so realistic now that it's frustrating that it doesn't happen.
We can artificially generate it. It's been done, and it's going all over the tube of how perfectly every leader in the world is dancing Macarena together. I don't know. I got that one.
So it's like, what would it cost Russia to let go of Ukraine? What would it cost them? Would it be devastating if they don't own Chechnya? What's at issue here? What are you fighting over? It's so senseless. Russia doesn't have enough territory? It's so ridiculous.
I think it's going back to what you said. It's egos.
That's a poor excuse for a war.
Hasn't it always been the excuse for everything?
Not as clearly or as vividly.
As now?
Now it is so obvious.
Yeah.
So all of the promises, all of the prophecies that seemed so far-fetched and so unrealistic that you had to have a leap of faith and put aside all rational thinking to believe it. Now, it's perfectly rational. It makes so much sense. There will come a time when the only thing missing is moral leadership. Are we not there?
Oh, we're there.
So if a moral leader arises, who's going to argue? Nobody.
And less with every day.
So I wonder if, did we speak about this last week or last time? What's happening in Australia after Bondi? The country is going through a metamorphosis. Australia is essentially asking itself, who are we? What are we? People are saying, we're not the same Australia we used to be. What did you used to be? What do you stand for? What do you represent? A place where you can just have no worries? No worries, that's Australia? So if somebody comes in like radical, extreme Islam, and they come in there with their intention, with their purpose, with their devotion, they're going to take over the country without firing a shot. Why? Because you have no resistance. They come in there and say you have to become Muslim. You have to live by Sharia law. And what does Australia say? We don't want to. You're going to lose. And you say, no worries. Right, no worries. Become a Muslim and that's it. We have no resistance to any ideology because we have no ideology of our own.
Well, we just had a mayor who pledged allegiance on a Quran, so we're moving in a very interesting direction here in New York as well.
And what makes that possible? Because the United States also has lost its direction. What do we stand for? What do we represent? The most profound philosophy in the United States is, leave me alone. It's about as deep as we get. Leave me alone. To do what? Whatever.
Rabbi Friedman, what kind of realization do you think Venezuela is coming to these days?
The realization is that freedom is not a goal. We need freedom to pursue our goal. But the goal is not to be free. That's nonsense. The goal is not to be treated equally. And then what? These are all conditions under which it's easier to pursue a goal. But if you have no goal, what are you going to do with all the freedom and equality and even peace? Let's say there's peace in the world. Now what? You have no idea why you wake up in the morning. You have no idea why you exist. You have no idea why you're a country. You have no idea why you have a government. So anyone with any idea, as evil as it may be, is going to take over without firing a shot. Because people who have a passion for something will always take over people who have no passion. So we've basically surrendered the ship. Somebody with an intention and a purpose come in here and take over because we have no purpose. Like when people say, I don't like where America is going. Where's America going? Problem is it's not going anywhere. So terrorists can come in and take over with their idea of where we should be going. Australia is trying to figure out, what is it we believe? What's our Bible? We know what the Muslims are saying. What's our Bible? Turn the other cheek? That's not an objective in life. If you believe that the ultimate good is going to heaven, then you're no help. The question is, why on earth do you exist? Why do you have a government? Why are you a country? Why are you? What are you? We are being forced to answer that question. So the West has basically surrendered. Anyone with a good idea, come in here and take over, because we have no idea. So who's going to be the first to want to take over? Evil. I think that's what made communism almost realistic. Communism can take over the world because the world has no agenda. Communism has an agenda, a real passion. Evil, but an agenda. Jews have an agenda, which we haven't thought about, we haven't spoken about, and we certainly haven't acted on it in 2,000 years. It's time we got to our agenda.
Amen.
We also want to control the world.
We're being blamed for that. We're being accused of that.
Yeah, it's the irony of it. Those who are supposed to control the world are not, and being blamed that they are. We're supposed to control the world, not financially, not politically, not militarily, morally. President Trump's advisors, faith advisors, are convinced that the Jews have to be the moral authorities. They're not Jewish. Their belief is that Jews have to take moral leadership role and bring the world back to its godly purpose.
They need to put out a big press release about it to the rest of the world.
I always wondered. The prophecy is, like all prophecies, a little vague. In the end of days, say already vague, give me a date on the calendar. No, in the end of days, okay, the non-Jewish world will come to the Jews and say, lead the way in the service of God, and we will follow. The non-Jewish world will, who? The whole world is going to say. And they're going to say to the Jewish people, which Jewish people? It's so vague. Now it's becoming more concrete. There are people who represent the beliefs and the faith of the superpower of our times. And they are saying Jews have to be the moral leaders. So we now know who is saying it. Not loud enough, of course. And how it's going to affect the world. Because if the United States decides that the moral thing to do is to have Jews be the moral role models, that prophecy has become quite doable. So we're headed in such a good direction. It's amazing. As the world and its mistakes crumble, goodness is blossoming.
Rabbi Fridman, thank you so much for opening our eyes to the things that unfortunately we don't see as clearly as you do. So counting on you always to do that.
In the Jewish New Year, we say, may the curses of the past year end and the blessings of the new year begin.
Amen.
That's a little confusing, because the evil of the past year is still not finished, but the blessings of the new year have begun. Can get dizzy thinking about it, but that's what we're experiencing. The curses are there, but they're dying, and the blessings are there, and they're blossoming.
Amen. Thank you for seeing it, and thank you for allowing us to see it as well. Rabbi Fridman, absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, even though you're in a very sunny Dominican Republic with a lot of fans and people who are waiting for your wisdom and your knowledge. You took out time to spend with us and to give us what the whole world is waiting to hear from you. And thank you for allowing us to be a part of that. So amazing. I'm into every word you said today. It's a great message, very positive, and hopefully a lot of people heard it today and more are gonna hear it later on in the digital space as well. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your amazing trip with amazing people, and thank you very much for the good news that you bring to us.
We are very fortunate to be in this generation.
Amen.
Thank you.
Hopefully we never forget this. Thank you so much. Ну а всем, кто нас сегодня слышал, большое вам всем спасибо за то, что вы есть, за то, что мы растем, развиваемся и улучшаемся вместе. Не боюсь этого слова. С этими словами я, Аня Пекерман, и передача Thank God It's Tuesday. Прощаемся со всеми. До следующего раза.